Hey, what's up YouTube? This is Chet Chaser. Just real quick, I'm going to show you guys what exactly happened to the board. I can't really recreate the accident in any sense, but I'll just show you all the damage that was done to the board and where it's warped and like what pieces got broke on it. So I'm just going to take you off the stand real quick. I just got the GoPro on a tripod and a selfie stick, so I'll just take the GoPro off the tripod and just kind of show you everything. Let me switch cameras here and so I can give you a better view. I'll show you the top of the board, the bottom of the board, and then both ends of it. So you can kind of see right here, just a little bit of the small parts that got damaged right there. So right here is the the right side for the fender fork. As you can kind of see down there, it's got just a little bit of a connector that goes on the truck, and it's just kind of bolted in on the side. It's a little hard to see the bolts, but it's bolted right there. This plastic piece is bolted down with that big one that you can see there, and then horizontally this plastic piece is just bolted down through there, and it goes up. So as you can see, that's what it's supposed to look like. Right here on this side, on the left side, it just got completely snapped right there. And it's, well, not really entirely there anymore. This whole piece is pretty much gone. So right here, this is an Omni E-skate bull bar, pretty good. I put it on 2 days before I ended up getting in this wreck. I don't really think too much happened to it other than like a few scratches like right there, right here, and right here. But other than that, I don't really think too much happened to it. Nothing really happened to the top of the board. If you can see right here, and also right over here, there's a little bit of a chip there on the carbon fiber. There's more to that. Once I turn the board over, I'll show exactly what happened with that. So over here, this is where the real damage is. So right here, this is the backfire board's spoiler. This looks like somebody just grabbed a hold of it just put one hand right here in the middle and just put one hand right here in the middle and then grabbed this on the underside and just bent it upward. It's clearly just kind of done for. And then not only that, but it's kind of leaning this way. As you can kind of see, it looks like a Jenga tower is just moving this way, about to fall over, but hasn't quite. It's just kind of leaning. So yeah, this might be repairable with a vice grip or something like that, but currently, yeah, it's messed up. So what I think happened was, I think the car wheel, maybe I don't know if there's the left side or the right side of the car, ended up kind of going up right here, bent this fender fork right here this way, got on the fender, and then pushed the spoiler upward, or not upward, but downward, and made this part right here face upward. And not only that, but it also bent the thread down here on the truck axle. So right here, this is where the wheel would go, and I don't have it on there right now, but basically there would be a gear drive adapter that you would snap into there. There'd be like a red gear in there, and it had these, as you can kind of see, there's pegs right there. It would have pegs that would go into the gear drive right there, and pegs that would stand on the outside. Those would connect to the gear drive adapter that would then snap onto this, and this would basically go on here like that. Well, hopefully that spacer and the bearing right there would stay there, but that would go through there, and then you would pretty much get a speed washer and your nut, and just put the speed washer right there between the bearing and the nut, and then put the nut over it. And then once you hit the throttle on the remote, it would then, you know, be driven, be fed power, be driven by the motor. The motor would turn the gears in the gear drive, and then that would turn that. But now that it's bent, it can't really go forward in any sense, since that's bent. I don't think anything really happened to the other side. As you can kind of see right here, oh yes, that's the gear drive, sorry, my bad, I meant to show that. As you can kind of see, that's a bit of an inversion to the pattern that's right here on this rim. It's just meant to like kind of fit around those. Oh, and speaking of which, whenever I did crash, these kind of did get bent inward a little bit. So you can kind of see they're supposed to come out like a bit of a U, but they ended up just getting bent in on every single one of them. I thought that was a little odd. I didn't see that until I took the gear drive adapter off the rim. But yeah, once I saw that, I'm like, whoa. Clearly it's done a little bit more damage than I thought. Like damage on the fine parts of the board. So the other thing was pretty much on the other side of the board. Let me flip it over right real quick. Here, let me, this might take a second. Okay, so this is the bottom of the board. Not really too tough to see the damage on here, but yeah, it's definitely noticeable. So as you can see, that's what the thread is supposed to look like right there. However, this one you can really tell it's bent upward. Well, downward I should say, since it's kind of flipped right now. But yeah, not supposed to look like that. Not only was the damage done there, but the damage was also done right there. So right here, that's the what's basically the ESC. That's kind of like the brains of the board. As you can see, right here is the wires that move from here to the motors. This basically just draws power from the battery, transmits it from the battery to the motors, communicates with the remote, turns the board on, all that. This is the heat sink for it. And right here are just the bolts that put the heat sink where the ESC is kind of hooked to by means of a few small bolts down into it. And this is just the cavity for it. As you can see right there on the bolts and the plate itself, it kind of got scraped, but even more so on this side. Like right there on the sides. Right here is kind of the thing I was talking about on the front and also the back, where the carbon fiber, just right here on the surface, kind of split. I think it was from the shock, where if you had something like a plywood deck or a bamboo deck, this would be a lot more pronounced, and it would probably even snap right across here. But because it's carbon fiber and it's a sturdier material, and it ended up just kind of snapping it like let's say the first layer of an onion if you were to cut into it. Yeah, as you can see, it's kind of snapped right there. It goes all the way along here. I'll show you the other side right here. Yeah, so right here, oops. Yeah, so right here, that's pretty much way more pronounced on the front, oddly enough. But it just goes all the way along there and goes to the top. So, oh my gosh, sorry, kind of got a little splinter going on. Yeah, should have worn gloves for this. So it kind of starts right there on the side, goes all the way across the board, and just flakes up like that. Again, kind of like peeling an onion right here. It's pretty interesting to see, to be honest. I think mostly that's the only damage that got done to the bottom of the board. Most of these scrapes were already here from hitting curbs and the like, but yeah, for the most part, I think the damage to the bottom was pretty minimal. I don't know if any of this is really going to render this whole deck useless or not, because I feel like if I were to, I don't know, let's say get hit again, or potentially just go over a curb the wrong way, this side or this side may end up snapping. I can't really attest to that because this is the first carbon fiber deck I've had before, but anything's possible at this point. I didn't expect the damage to be this intricate with how it all came to be once this flipped over. Which, by the way, it actually did flip over, but that's kind of beside the point now. Either way, yeah, that's pretty much most of the damage, I think. I can't really identify anything else. I think the last thing might just be how the trucks aren't really standing still anymore. They're kind of at an odd angle, but for the most part, that's pretty much it. I did kind of see this, I didn't really notice this until I really looked at it, but you can kind of see it when I show it right here. The foot stop itself, not that, but the plate is kind of bent upward. It's kind of noticeable. You really got to look at it. I kind of hope the GoPro is focusing right now because it's a little noticeable. You can really see it more right as you go along the foot stop as it's kind of angling upward. But yeah, hopefully you guys can see that. But I think that's pretty much the end of that. Oh, there's that lip I was talking about right there with the carbon fiber kind of coming up from the shock of that. But yeah, either way, that's pretty much the rest of it. I think I can salvage a few things for this, but for the most part, I don't really think there's much to be salvaged in the way of the deck itself. I'm still contacting meepo's warranty department and talking to the customer service, which I'm hoping will probably either send me a replacement board or potentially a deck. I'm not too sure, but I'll keep you guys updated on that. So yeah, I pretty much just wanted to give you guys a bit of a POV shot of what all the damage to the deck and all the other working parts kind of looked like. I think I did a pretty good job. If I missed anything or if you saw anything I missed, just go ahead and show in the comments or tell in the comments exactly what I may have missed, what I may have just gone over a little bit too much. But yeah, I'd say just go ahead and stay tuned on the channel. I'm gonna post hopefully something related to the 405 indoor, sorry, no, not the 405 indoor, the daily shred park closing, and I'll probably post that in maybe a day or two. This will be up probably tomorrow. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I think for the most part, this board's dead in the water. But I'll see. I'm still waiting for a response back from meepo customer support on whether or not they'll ship me another deck, ship me another board. But I'll find out here in the next few days. Either way, yeah, this is Chet Chaser signing off.